A film that feels like a poem, one that makes you feel all its rhythm and rhymes. Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine as Light weaves a story through chaos and tranquility and becomes a gentle yet powerful exploration of class, identity, and the beauty of existence. This film makes you feel like you're in a dream you don't want to wake up from. It forces you to ask simple but provoking questions. It's a poetic journey that lingers with you long after the credits roll. So today we're gonna discuss about a film that got me stuck in its frames. In this highly commercialized landscape of Indian cinema, we rarely get to see a film like All We Imagine as Light, a film that transcends every cultural and linguistic divide and makes us all resonate with it. Instead of relying on the mainstream norm of heavy action, spicy drama, or forced comedy, it subtly strikes every necessary chord to make a perfect symphony in an all noisy studio. I felt bad knowing that this film was not selected for the Oscars, and even worse when I got to know the reason given by President Ravi K of the Film Federation of India. He said, and I quote, "All We Imagine as Light did not feel like an Indian film, though we can see it as a political move. But for now, let's not get into it." This was Payal Kapadia's second feature film after her debut feature documentary A Night of Knowing Nothing, and she did exceptionally well. She bagged a bundle of awards like the New York Film Critics Circle's Best International Film Award, the Gotham Awards for Best International Feature, the prestigious Grand Prix Award at the 77th Cannes Film Festival, and the list goes on. For me, and I think for most of us, we know Mumbai for its Bombay noir films, especially myself who hasn't been to Mumbai yet. But when I watched All We Imagine as Light, it changed my perspective on a city that is often glamorized through Indian cinema as the mafia capital of India. The film starts with an uneasy feeling of how we don't feel at home somewhere, even after living there for most of our lives. On the surface, it portrays the plight of migrant workers living in Mumbai, but it does so intimately that it feels very personal, as if it's not their story, but rather our own, as if we are inside the frames, listening, breathing, and waiting to say that we feel the same. The question that arises here is, why don't we feel at home? Why do we lack that sense of belonging? The reason might be many, but one of the very obvious ones is the oppressive structures, both political and societal. This film challenges those structures by blurring the boundaries between personal experiences and collective struggles. It hints that personal relationships, desires, and traumas cannot be separated from the socio-political context in which they exist. But what strikes me the most is how it gently whispers about the human connection we lack and the resistance we have to accepting life as it is, with all its flaws and blemishes. While the film critiques societal and political establishments, its tone reflects a form of resistance rooted in understanding rather than outright rejection. This subtle approach mirrors the philosophy of embracing reality while seeking transformation within it. This is one of the recurring themes of the film. Kapadia invites our viewers to accept the fluidity of human experiences rather than seeking definitive answers. In simple words, life's messiness is not something to be fixed, but something to be lived and understood. Kapadia tries to highlight the poetry in our everyday life. It might be full of laments and sorrows, but the beauty lies in the realization that it is our own abandoned poem. And by focusing on those ordinary, the film suggests that the act of acceptance can transform the most mundane and even the complex into something profound and meaningful. And ultimately, it leaves us with a lingering question: is it all about accepting those illusions that we try to imagine as light?